Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we got the airplane part here in the booth. We didn't quite make it last week. It was the only thing on my list of stuff that I wanted to get painted last week that I didn't get painted. So Dylan is sealing up the booth right now. It's Monday. We're gonna kick off this day, getting this thing painted, and then get out in the shop and see what else we got going on. Okay, so speaking of the next job, this is the last stuff we have to do for the Cerakote job for Juan, for SEMA, for Tray 5. Hopefully Dylan here can get all this stuff finished prep today, and we have enough time at the end of the day to get the wing out I just painted and get all this stuff set up on the rack so I can get this stuff shot and we can be officially done with this job for SEMA. Okay, so we got all the exhaust pieces prepped and ready to come in here. The T34 plain wing piece is painted and dry enough to pull out. So I'm gonna move this out, get the parts in the booth, and then Dylan's gonna seal the booth back up and get everything blown out, cleaned up, and looked over before I start shooting some Cerakote.
Maybe pick up the microphone a little better.
Check, 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 check.
I wonder, like, maybe I can like Morse code to the like.
Say something.
Something.
so it's the next morning. Everything's dry, ready to go next door to tray 5. This is officially the last that I know of the parts we have to do for this rolling Rev B chassis for SEMA. Thank God, I can't believe we got through it. It was a crazy amount of parts, but the guys killed it and we got it all done. So we're gonna get this stuff over to them and be on to the next job. So Jason's gonna get all the stuff from my dually cleaned up and masked up so I can get some primer on it. Spent about a day cleaning up some of the welds and going over and dialing the bodywork to make it smooth enough to paint satin black. So it's not perfect, but it should look pretty good when it's painted. I'm gonna lay down a bunch of high build primer on it so I can kind of carve it back in and just make sure it's good enough to paint. It's a lot of work just to shoot something satin, but it's a whole hell of a lot more work to shoot it shiny. So, and it was never the plan anyway. So he's gonna get the stuff ready. I got some other things to do, and I'll come back in and prime this in a little bit. So we got our warplane wing here, all dry, all ready to go home. So give our customer here a call, have them come down and pick this up, and we'll be on to the next job. Okay, so we're mixing up 20 ounces of the VP 2050 and see how far that gets us. I might have to do that twice, but before I do it either time, how about an epic paint mix? Okay, let's start with Larry's truck here. I mean, damn, does this thing look amazing. Absolutely incredible. Can't wait to see this thing all unmasked, laid out with a bed on it. It's gonna be a minute before that happens, but not too long because Victor has got the bed almost ready inside up to 400 grit. Then he'll move on to the outside spot prime panels, and then hopefully he can have the thing finalized by the end of the week, and we can make arrangements maybe the beginning of the week to shoot the bed. Once this thing goes next door to tray 5, Taylor will start buffing the hood, get that finalized. He will buff the cowl, get that finalized, and then hopefully transition right into the bed being painted and being sanded and buffed. Okay, a quick update on Steven's 6400 here. As you can see, we've got it back together. This thing is another killer build. It's going to be absolutely killer when it's done. So where we're at now is we've got the doors primed inside. We've got obviously them hung back on. We've got to go back now and dial in all of our edges, make sure everything looks good. So basically we're in the finalization stage of the exterior of the cab. Then we'll have the dash to do and the inner back wall to do. We've kind of been talking back and forth about it, and I think we're just going to go ahead and carry on with all the body work before we prime it, just because we're going to be in and out of it a bunch of times doing that. And then once it comes apart, it'll be easier to prime the cab in and out by itself and all the parts by itself. So I think that's going to be the most efficient way to get this thing primed. It took an entire day to get all this stuff back hung on it today, getting it gapped and dialed in where it's at. We've got the seals back in it, the latches, all the bolts in it, every nut and bolt's back in this truck, including the grill, so we can check how everything fits. There's a few areas we got to address, which is typical and we kind of figured, but there's a few things we got to still clean up on it. But man, it's very, very, very close. Once we get all that stuff handled, we'll jump inside like I mentioned, and then get this thing knocked out, get it blown apart, and get it put into high build primer. That's really all I got to talk about today. We'll be back at the end of the week with more updates on Manny's Blazer, on the shop truck dually. I think Victor's truck is pretty much at a standstill right now. We'll have another update on Larry's C10 as well. Hopefully some good shots of that for you guys, all polished out outside in the sun and or inside. And who knows what else we'll have going on. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you guys at the end of the week on the next episode.